Up Talk. Now, another offering from the Stand Up Talk Radio Network.
All right, here we go. Welcome to another Nerd Rager episode. And with me today on the podcast, I've got great comics from LA at the Comedy Store and around on other podcasts. We've got Jayson Thibault.
Hooray.
And we got Nick Youssef with us.
Boo.
All right.
Yay me.
We're off to a good start. He's already booing himself. All right. How you guys doing today?
Tired,
man. Who does podcasts this early?
This is fucking. I haven't even slept yet.
We got a stand-up talk. Stand-up talk. He's getting us up early. You know, he's got a lot of other people coming in here. So, and we got a stripper pole at 10 in the morning, so you can't beat that.
Oh, that is a stripper pole.
Oh shit!
Most people don't know.
I thought it was like what?
I'm literally, and you're right in,
I know,
in the
me
middle
too.
of it. I didn't even notice it was there.
I was like, what a terrible place for a lamp. I just never looked all the way to the top of it and saw that it's just for vaginas.
Now, do you guys know the premise of this podcast is like basically it's finding out any stand-up comedians like nerdy thing they do. I know you and Thibault, you guys love music and fashion, and you guys are big hipsters, is what the label is.
Yeah.
That's why I had you guys. That's why I had you guys together. You guys have a lot in common. One thing I want to start off with video games, just because that's my big nerdy thing, and that's why I started this. Yeah. What kind of old school games did you guys play? What was your obsessions when you were kids, and did you ever play at all?
I didn't have access to a lot of video games. I got a regular Nintendo for Christmas, I think, and then we didn't get any games for it. It was like Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, like the one that came with it.
Duck Hunt. Did you just not play video games?
No,
like
dude,
that kid that grew up that
I
didn't
wanted to play video games, but it wasn't like it was a financial thing. It couldn't, we couldn't just have all these video games and shit.
And were your parents against it, or were they? Did they
just
not
didn't
care?
really like get it or care for it, and then they just couldn't. It was one of those things like, well, we can't afford it anyway, so we're not gonna try and put aside money for something we don't even understand. You should be doing homework anyway. Blah 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 blah.
Did you just sell it?
No. Yeah. There's no Craigslist back then. I didn't know anybody. I'm
right.
Like, hey kid.
But you never know, like garage sale or something.
And then I got a fucking Super Nintendo, and I'm like, all right, now we're moving on up. This is like years later. And I'm like, all right, now I'm going to get games for this. I'm going to make it so, like, I'll save fucking lunch money. I'll do whatever I need. And then I had the just regular Mario Brothers that came with it for like
you end up in the same spot you were.
It was just the same game, just
Mario
better graphics.
Kart.
Fuck.
Oh, sweet.
And then for Christmas, I was like, I'm going to ask my uncle for a fucking game, man. He'll because I never see him. He lives in another state. I'm like, he'll get me a fucking cool game.
He buys you Pong.
I had this list of shit. F-Zero, Mario Kart, all this stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm going to get the coolest, newest game. I tell all my friends about it. Then I open my Christmas present, and it's Mario's Time Machine.
It's like one of the worst rated
learn
games ever.
shit. You answer history questions, and you travel through time on a surfboard across the water.
And a great thing about
and then
Mario,
when you get to the next land, guess what you do? You answer more history questions.
Great thing about Mario games is all of them sell so well. That one is the worst selling Mario game of all time.
I played the shit out of it and beat it just because I had no other choice.
What about you, Thibault?
I was the opposite of you, man.
Really?
I was like, Nintendo had fucking, like Contra, loved that game. Akari Warriors, loved that game. But I mostly played sports games. Like, I went like Tecmo Bowl in Nintendo to, I didn't go Super Nintendo. I went Sega Genesis.
Oh, okay.
And then Madden there.
That's like Marlboro or Camel. You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
It's the new PS3 versus Xbox debate, which is the newer age.
And then I went PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and then kind of Xbox, but it was always just playing Madden. That's where me and Freddie Lockhart got to know each other.
Yeah.
So
now that like I feel like this poll is getting in. Like I feel like I can't see you.
I know. What's funny is like
5 minutes ago it was totally fine.
right. It's like I got an eye on either side.
Yeah.
Well, I was on the couch, but
I think we should get a stripper in here to make it less distracting.
It's not.
Why do you have a strip pole in your garage, bro? Bless you.
Thank you.
You can sneeze on there, bro. This is real shit.
my cousin
is a stripper.
Is a professional pole dancer.
Really?
Yeah.
They call those strippers, bro.
That would be her in that picture behind him.
As long as it's
Don't
not
say
your,
that.
as long as if it's not your cousin, you call her a stripper, but it's your cousin. You're like,
Right.
she is a professional
She's
pole
a
dancer.
fitness pole dancer.
Jeez, though, look at her. That's really her.
Yeah,
That
she's
is her.
cute.
She's way more buff now. Now she has like a 6-pack and
Way more
Oh,
buff
look
now.
at
The
her,
girl's
like-
the girl's climbing a mountain on this photo. And he's like, she's way more buff now.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. That's like a thing, man. People put.
I should clarify though. To be fair, I did end up getting a few more games. It wasn't like it didn't just stop at Mario's Time Machine. I got F-Zero and Mario Kart and Mario. What was that one? Super Mario something where I had all the old Mario Brothers from original Nintendo, so I finally get to play all those.
Yeah,
Like a throwback.
that's so hilarious. But I was always
And
mad.
sports
dude.
though.
Madden, oh
games,
yeah.
Madden.
Sports were always the big thing as guys growing up. We
I
had
fucking hated Madden, man. I couldn't get good at it.
I
I'm
literally
with you, I hated
grew
Madden.
up like when I was in college. We lived above this bar, and we had like 5 guys, 5 bedrooms. It was the best time in my life. There's no
Yeah.
question about it.
Yeah.
But you know, circumstantially, you all kind of like move in together. You don't like like start a band and all move in together. So we had like four different Sega Genesises.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Genocide. Yeah.
Genocide, which really almost was genocide, at least academically for us, in like 4 different rooms. So like we had this set up this whole league tournament of Madden of all of us.
Yeah.
But you had a home game and away game, so you had to come in my room and play on my shit, and I had to come in yours. And I would always play this whenever my roommates had the ball. They hated playing in my room. Because I had this big stereo system with like the double deck tapes. This is back, you know what I mean? Like you had like fucking everything, a CD player, everything on it, like a rack. And I just had this tape I kept rewinding and hit play whenever they would get the ball. And it was just that really loud Darth Vader march music. So whenever my defense was on the field, it was so annoying. And like they would get the ball like right in the kickoff, and I would just hit play. Oh, god damn it, dude. You got to play that stupid fucking annoying ass music.
You're on the home field, buddy.
That's exactly what it was. So yeah, man. So I always played. And then when I moved out here, when I met Freddie Lockhart, he was the same way.
Yeah.
And I've
So
heard Freddie
me
is
and
just
him-
sick at Madden.
He's good. Cap's
and
good. Like
Caparola, yeah.
Don Barris plays, and he won't. He's like, hey, I'm starting a John Madden tournament. You want to be in? I'm like, fuck yeah. He goes, how good are you? I go, I'm pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. He goes, who do you play with? I go, pretty much just Caparillo and Lockhart. He goes, you can't play.
You're out.
You can't be in it. He won't let the 3 of us in it because we'll just mop people up.
Do you guys ever play online? Have you ever played online with little kids before?
Oh yeah, of course.
And what's your most horrific story with
That
those?
sentence is going to be just like edited out and put
Yeah.
online one day. Have you ever played online with little kids? Have you ever played online with little kids? Have you ever played online with little kids?
Be on the TMZ podcast.
Yeah.
Horrific story as far as what? Well, one time I didn't know that it was a little kid because they weren't saying anything. They weren't talking or whatever.
Right.
And I was just verbally abusing this guy. Like, and it was like when you first started being able to talk shit to people. And because we used to like, you focus on playing, give me the headset. I just want to talk shit to people.
Yeah.
So somebody else would be in the room playing somebody online while you're just doing jokes. And they're
Yeah.
focusing on the goddamn game.
Yeah.
And I was doing that. I wasn't actually the one playing, but my buddy was playing. And man, I was just like every word you
Zingers.
could do. Like, I mean, I was like, real racist and all.
Yeah.
Like, you name it.
You were
know what I
racist?
mean?
No way. Come on.
And really letting him have it. And then they must have reported it because his account got. I don't know if they still do that.
They do-
Back
they- yeah, they-
then, you
they-
could get like.
Yeah, they ban them still. They do that with it's certain games if there's enough.
But that
people.
dude was so, man, you got my fucking account banned, bro. Calling that kid the N-bomb.
I never liked it. Like, Madden was like... I liked NFL Blitz and NBA Jam.
Blitz was
Love
great.
those games,
Jam was
yeah.
great.
Because they weren't realistic. Like, when I played Madden for the first time, because I had my buddies had like a Genesis. They were like,
Yeah, it was very
in that
cartoony.
camp. And they played Madden and shit, and they were like big sports kids.
Yeah, it's really like chess. You really got to know the intricacies of the sport.
Yeah, they knew
and
all
that's
the
why real
plays.
diehards love
And
Madden.
I was like, fuck this. This is like real life. I'm like, I want a video game where
Yeah.
shit's like cartoony and whatever. And then like NFL Blitz came out, and then I was like, oh, this is it.
Blitz was great.
This is fun.
You know
can
that
catch
joke
fire.
that Fahim, you can catch fire and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Dragon will intercept the ball. Do you like you know the joke
I've
that
heard it, yeah.
Fahim has about
His dad
it's
watching.
so funny, dude. Or
Yeah.
his grandfather walking in when they're he's watching them play NBA Jam.
Yeah.
And he's like, the video games look so realistic, and then his grandfather's like this old, like, what is he, Armenian or something? What is he?
He's Afghani.
Afghan, yeah. So his old grandfather comes in, and he's like, "Oh my God, that guy just dunked from half court.
He thought it was a real
Who are
guy.
these people?" You know what I mean?
Fahim
Yeah,
is
I
an
like-
excellent comic.
I like those types of games. Because I used to go. I
You
didn't
like
have-
to lose the reality in video games, which is why you play video games, I think.
Yeah,
It's
that's
you
the
don't
whole
wanna,
point,
like
yeah.
Grand Theft Auto is so real. I play that shit. It's literally one of the missions is go sit in a car and wait for some girl to give head to some guy up in this
Right.
fucking apartment. It's like, why? This is such a stupid mission.
That's those are better now, like the realistic games, because
Yeah,
it
it's like-
actually does.
You're
look
in
like real
one.
life. Yeah, this is a game right now.
What's the one that you're in? We actually went and found you and took a screenshot of you.
Yeah, L.A. Noir.
Yep.
You're in LA. No, I didn't know that was you. Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's awesome. LA Noir was a great game.
You're like at a gas station. Where are you?
I
You're
can't
somewhere-
remember. I'm like coming out of a building or something like that. I never. Played
You look
it.
like the main character. That's what's
No,
crazy.
I'm not the main
There's
character.
just a small thing.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
this
a small
one
character.
mission. If you go on this one mission, you can go and wait in a car while Nick sucks off some guy.
Yeah, I actually asked for that role.
yeah, method actor.
I kept asking people to find me and shoot me and take a snapshot or a screenshot. Of
I
that.
sent you a screenshot of you.
Yeah. I think you sent me that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
That's-
I think a couple people did.
Yeah.
That's
But I
pretty
wanted
cool.
someone to like,
'Cause you
shoot
put
me in
one
the
on
head,
top.
and then like as the blood's coming out of my head, send me that. But,
That's a great question for the video game nerds out there who really love to know about the intricacies of video game making. How was that? How cool was that to go and be a part of it? Like, and did you get to see anything that you normally wouldn't? Like,
no, well, it was super secretive, the whole process, like the storyline. They didn't tell us anything. And apparently, like, the technology behind the game was some new kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it had one of the engines that they were putting into it that's really strong. I'm not sure on that, but
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was like the technology was essentially like it involved just a room full of cameras. So like you're sitting in a chair in a all white room, and they had to like mat down all your hair because they couldn't have any like a single hair or anything sticking out. So
No problem with you. That's why you
Just-
booked the role right,
right,
there.
yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
all right,
They're
we don't
like,
even have to touch
and-
his hair.
Okay, yeah, you're good to go.
Yeah.
So they sit you in a room. You're surrounded by cameras, and you just sit there and you talk out the lines, but you can't move. This is really weird. So like deliver these lines of like, if you're angry or but you're not allowed to move at all.
and you're standing up while doing this.
No, you're sitting down.
Oh, okay.
And then and these cameras all around you like capture every angle of your face.
While you're talking and making those moves.
And that's why it it looked so realistic and like you look like you.
And I think that's the technology they were using with that engine.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's like some new video game technology at the time.
And they didn't use any like suits on you guys with balls on them.
No.
No,
Yeah.
that was much later in the night.
Yeah. That was from my car scene when I was.
So that's pretty cool, man. To get that background view of a video game, like
Yeah, so I guess like that versus the ball sense or whatever the fuck.
So they just had you do that. So they got you doing all your lines, sitting in the chair.
Yeah.
And then they just like you
And
didn't
then
have to do any emotion, any walking around or any kind of bullshit
No,
like that.
because it's all the body was like computer generated,
Like pre-programmed kind of thing.
Because if you notice in the picture, like my head looks like normal size and I look like me, but the body is like
Yeah, you look like a
2
Danny
feet tall.
DeVito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they added a hat too. I wasn't wearing a hat in the room.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like a
So
like a
it's
1920s.
they gave you a nice
Just-
fedora.
Yeah,
They
they
did.
did. Yeah, it's
'Cause
just
it's like
your
back in the
face,
day.
and then they just do whatever else they want. But it's the faces that look so realistic, and like you can almost see like certain like
It's like L.A. in the 30s or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
The difference between you and I'm so vain. I'd have gone out immediately and got an Xbox and the video game
Right,
and just
right.
played
No,
my spot of the
What
game.
sucks about it too
Nick's
is that
family sent him a Mario Brothers. They're like, we saw your video game.
yeah, here's Mario's time machine.
You keep jumping on these mushrooms.
Yeah.
When are you going to be in Duck Hunt?
What sucks though is that they couldn't tell us anything like what the game was about, what it was even called. It had a different name when we were in there. It had like some code name. So people are like, "Oh, you're gonna be in this video game. What's it called?" I'm like, "I don't know. What's your character's name? I don't
I
know.
hate that
Are
they
you a
do
good
that
guy or a
shit.
bad guy? I don't know." So I didn't tell anyone about it.
It's because they take a lot of these guys take these storylines so seriously. Halo,
Yeah.
all these. They have people who actually sneak in and try to get the story and release it online so people know it.
I mean,
Yeah.
all of Hollywood in general, how they do that. like you know how they are with the Montreal thing.
Yeah.
Like when you get it or when you don't, or when they're even considering you.
Yeah.
Hey man, if you tell anybody,
Yeah,
we're gonna
we will
kill your
kill you.
children.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have any children. They're like, keep it that
We'll
way.
wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll wait. We'll find you.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, how are you? I mean, that word eventually gets out. It's never
I
fucked
know.
anything up. All the confidentiality shit.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Yeah,
'Cause,
Halo.
yeah, like all the actors that are doing the fucking game, what are they gonna like go blog about? Dude, I just did this game and here's every last detail of the plot.
Yeah.
Fuck you, guy that hired me.
I sit in a chair. Here's
Yeah.
what I know. I sit in a chair and there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm in a white room too, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah. I'm in
Yeah, it
a
was
video
really
game
weird.
white room.
Yeah, it's just crazy how they treat these things. But I think it's just because I think it adds an allure to it too. Like, it adds people wanting to go out and get it. Like Halo 4 when that happened, or Halo 3 when it got released a week early. I think it got it more press. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? People, even CBS was talking about it, like big news stations. It's like
Right.
that's not a big deal.
$1 billion industry.
Yeah, so
It killed the
it's
arcade.
bigger than porn now.
That's where all my video gaming was at the local arcade. I lived
Oh.
2 blocks from an arcade, and I fucking ran that place.
If
Oh,
you
yeah,
if
dude.
you own an arcade from the 70s to the 90s, you bang.
Dude, I miss
Banked.
arcades, man. That was my shit.
Those are fun.
More than video games in the house because I didn't have a cool system. I liked the arcade, man, because you could go play games with way better graphics than you
Oh,
had
yeah.
at home,
But see,
and then
that-
you could play like with people. Like I would sit
And yeah,
at
it's a
NFL
social
Blitz.
aspect of.
I would sit at NFL Blitz and just mow people down all day
Totally.
long. I put in
Yeah, you
50 cents and sit there for 2 hours.
And you can meet people that are a lot like you because you enjoy doing that.
Arcades
So
were
I
the
think-
arcades were the gay bars for guys at age 12. Because it's
Yeah,
all
for, like,
dudes.
nerds.
Or
Yeah,
sports
yeah.
bar.
Yeah.
Sports bar.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no chicks, but there's no concern for chicks. As
Yeah.
soon as you started thinking about chicks, you're like, fuck the arcade.
Yeah.
Let's go stand in this chick's yard.
Yeah, the chicks would be like, "Oh, she's gonna suck at this. I don't want to play with her."
Yeah, terrible.
You know? Yeah.
Have you seen that? I know Nick's not a huge sports guy, but there's you know who Blake Griffin is, right?
Yeah.
Notorious for just like monster dunks and stuff. Have you
Right.
seen his commercial campaign that he's in where he goes back in time and
No.
talk? There's like 4 or 5 of them. They're all very funny, and he's really a charismatic guy. And so he goes back in time. There's always this like light skinned, redheaded, black dude
Yeah.
doing something. He's playing football and he takes the ball and kicks it. He's like, not this sport, dude. Different things. Stop wearing the jean shorts. Trust me.
Oh yeah, that one's good.
So there's one where it's this little kid in an arcade. He's probably like 13 years old version of him, and he's playing some game. And he gives him some advice about, who are you? He's like, I'm from this future in this car. And he's sitting on one of those hobby horses things that you put a
Yeah.
quarter in, but there's nothing, it's not working. He's just randomly sitting on it, the real one, Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, another thing, why don't you play that other game? And you look over and it's like NBA Jam or something. The
Right.
kid, and he goes, that game's boring, man. All you do is dunk. And the other Blake Griffin goes, exactly. And then he kicks the horse and it starts going real
Yeah.
slow. It's so stupid, dude.
It's funny.
There's a
Exactly.
lot of stupid commercials, but there's like a couple gems out there that are really good. That's one of them. The other one I like, and I think I watched it with you one time, is the guy who does those commercials where he's sitting with the kids.
Oh, yeah, that was
He's sitting
a
in
funny
with the
one.
kids. Those are just
There's like
hilarious.
100 of those now.
And he sits in with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird recently on one of those commercials, and they're making fun of Larry Bird. I don't even remember what commercials those are from, but
Yeah, that's the thing.
I have no idea.
The advertisers would be shooting themselves in the face if you just said that. These commercials are great. I do not remember what they're selling, and they're like, God, we thought it was working.
I think it's like AT&T or some shit. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna go on to our next segment here.
Next segment. Good.
Next segment. Oh yeah, we're gonna bring. That was a great segue, right? Right into it. I know one thing about comedians is we all want to be musicians, and every musician wants to be a comedian. That's something that just is. I don't know why it is, but I know you two guys like music a lot. Like both of you know more about
I
music.
think
than
that's a
most
huge
people.
generalization, by the way. I've heard that said over the years a lot, but dude, I know a lot of comics that don't even fucking care about music.
I do too, but that's because you know a lot of comics. I agree with what you're saying, but I do think there's merit in what you're saying. And there's always like, comics get big enough that someone's always got to try to make an album.
Right.
Eddie Murphy did it. I mean, so many different people like, I'm going to try to be taken seriously. I know I've been talking about my dick for the last
20
15 years.
Yeah.
But now I'd like to tell you how I feel about love.
Right. With
Hit
this
it.
guitar.
Hit it, maestro. But yeah, a lot of musicians have said that to me a lot. Some like famous musicians that I know, but some other like like at our level of like the LA scene, like they're
Right.
good. They just haven't blown up yet.
John Mayer's trying to do comedy.
He sure
Yeah,
is.
That's weird.
It's kind of weird, yeah.
I can't imagine he would want the pay cut.
I actually
I
thought it
know.
was pretty funny.
He is funny.
Yeah.
I
He's
never saw him.
He does okay. He's he was literally telling jokes about like he got a real set in.
If he wasn't John Mayer, though,
He
what
was
would you have
prepared.
thought?
Well,
If he wasn't John Mayer, I'll tell you what I would have thought.
Would you have been like, yeah,
I would have been like, that guy had a couple good jokes.
Okay.
I would have been like,
That's
friends
fair.
and
if
family.
he wasn't John Mayer, he wouldn't have seen him.
Friends and family.
Well, no,
He's funnier than people that get up on Friends and Family.
Yeah.
Some of them.
All right.
He had some joke about like jerking off for like all day, pretty much all day, which is funny. They think John Mayer has to jerk
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, that's
But then
Yeah.
he's like, your internet search, and then it's just like this rabbit hole where you just like, you start off with one thing, and then it's like X hours later, and you're like on
Yeah.
this other video. And he's like, if you were to scroll backwards,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, through the 59 pages that you've just been through, you know what I mean?
Right.
He had funny, like, took a risk.
Yeah.
He wasn't just up there talking about eating Jennifer Love Hewitt out.
Yeah, that's cool. The fact that he's not doing that kind of stuff.
well, and he's not a real douchebag or anything.
No,
He's a
man,
real
he's-
nice guy. He's
Right.
to himself.
He genuinely seemed concerned about his set.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Like afterwards, he's in the parking lot, like kind of pacing around, thinking about it, like what worked and what didn't.
That's so funny.
And
though,
it's so funny because dude?
yeah, you don't have
It's
to do that.
such a pay cut for him to do stand up.
Yeah.
I mean, all he has to do is strum a guitar half-assed, and it's like another couple $1 million.
Yeah, he's already made it, and he's just like,
And
I'm
this
gonna
is-
start struggling.
This
again.
is a slow boat to suicide.
Yeah,
If there's
yeah.
anybody out there listening that wants to know about doing stand up, it's slowly killing yourself.
So if you guys were to switch over and do music, what would your genre be?
That's a
but-
good question.
Shit.
It probably would be. I mean, it would be like singer songwriter, rock band, like indie rock, something like that.
I would think the same thing for me too, but
So would you be more like a what do I think of from Chicago? The
Wilco?
Wilco. Would you be more of a Wilco?
It would be yeah.
I would
something-
love to.
Dude,
'Cause
Wilco's an amazing band.
that style because you can play rock, but you can also bring it down and kind of like
And you can also get weird with it.
yeah. Because I'd want that like
Range.
yeah, I want that range for sure. Because you don't want to be
Absolutely.
like I'm going to start a heavy metal band and then you just have to play heavy.
You
metal
don't want
all
to
the
paint
time.
yourself into a corner.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and like that's like Five Finger Death Punch. They're really the guy has a great voice, but he's painted himself into that we're death metal corner. Like we're but he does songs on his album that don't scream at all. And
Yeah.
Trail of Dead has that same thing too.
Yeah.
he introduced me to Trail of Dead, and I will tell you that's one of the best bands. They're
That's
so
from
amazing.
Galern. Galern got me into that.
Yeah, they really-
Dude, you don't know who
Dude.
they are? I'm like, dude, I would have remembered. They have like 15 words in the name of their
Yeah.
band. I would remember that. Oh, dude, I'm gonna make you a fucking CD. That's before like the big like Spotify. Just Spotify this, and then you can look it up, or
Yeah.
But
He still makes CDs.
he
though.
still does. Like, dude, I'll burn you that.
Yeah.
Let me make you a mixtape.
Yeah. A mixtape.
How many mixtapes must he have made?
Oh, I know.
So what genre would you have been, Tebow? Would you
Probably like one of those two, somewhere in that range.
like Trail of Dead, or like a jam band? Like,
I mean,
would you be like a Weezer or like a?
I'd be more like a.
Weezer's not really a jam.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I-
consider Weezer a jam band. I'd consider Wilco could be a jam band.
Yeah,
to an extent.
Weezer, if anything, is the opposite. They're like, I mean, they've boiled down that.
That's how the Shins are too.
pop rock thing.
When I saw the Shins and I saw Weezer both times, I mean they weren't together but separately. It was kind of like that litmus test of like, I want to see, and there was years apart. I mean, I saw the Shins
Yeah.
way later than Weezer, but the comparison I'm making is, I was always like, man, it's really gonna make or break on the way to the concert.
Yeah.
How they sound is really gonna make or break them. And
Yeah.
if they sound good live, and both of those two sound exactly
Like
like
the
the
record?
CD.
Yeah.
Like if they played the album in order, and I had some like blinders on, I'd be
Yeah.
like, "When's the concert going to start? Someone's just playing their CD really loud
Right.
right now." I mean,
I kind of like that in a way.
I do too.
But in a way, sometimes I'm like, I want it to be a little different.
But like someone like the Shins, where it's such a unique sound.
Yeah.
His voice, you're like, man, this has to be a lot of studio effects. This has to be like,
Yeah.
they can't sound this good live.
And then they do.
And then they sound that good live, and you're like, God damn, man.
Yeah.
That's the band we have that I have opening Nerd Rager podcast, Amber Lynn, they actually a lot like that too. You can go to their concerts; they sound just like they are on CD. They're amazing. I mean, that blows my mind that people can put that on CD now, and it actually does. Because back 80s, 90s.
Oh, I tell you, I got my answer. Sorry to cut you off, bro, but I got my answer. I just thought about it. I'm surprised I didn't say it. Black Crowes.
Black
bro.
Crowes,
Yeah, that would be
Great
my
band,
shit right
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
If I could be in a band, it'd be something like that.
Yeah. And that just sounds like a fun band.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, and they made it mainstream, but they didn't go too far mainstream to where they were like playing a lot of stuff that
They care
companies
about
were-
performing live, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
They're
Great
more
band.
about that. They're like, we got to come up with a new album so we can go hit the road again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's our job, is to like do
That's
to
fucking
blow it
awesome
up
to me.
on the road.
Yeah.
That was the only time I was starstruck.
Yeah.
That when I met Chris Robinson once, and then one time when you might have been around. It's still at this time. That might have been when you first started. Were you working at the store when George Carlin was working out his HBO specials on the weekends?
It was
there,
right before that.
okay,
Yeah.
that was cool too because he kind of just palled it around with everybody.
Yeah.
You know, because he
It's
was
crazy.
there Friday, Saturday for a month before his HBO special. Where he taped in like New York or something. Friday, Saturday for a month, he just did one show in the main room. You know, what are you gonna do? It's fucking George Carlin. Or it
Yeah.
might have just been Friday, and they kept the same Saturday show. And if you watched it, because he's so methodical, he would literally just say, "Okay, I'm doing this HBO special here, so I'm gonna start working it out, and slowly it'll get better. I have all the material, but I just don't have it memorized." So he would just look at these He had a stack of note cards, probably about like 20 note cards, and he would just read it, and then he would plow through it as much as he could. Then he would stop, and then he'd go to the next one. It was
crazy.
just chunks of bits.
Yeah.
And then slowly by the second time, he would just look at it, then he would put it down and run through it. He didn't have it in his hands.
Right.
And then the third time he did it, and the fourth time he did it, he would go through like 5 or 6. He only had like 5 note cards, so it was a whole chunk. And he would just look at it, put it down, then do 20 minutes. And then the last time he did it was just no looking at it. Just it pretty much looked exactly verbatim. Like months later you watch one on HBO,
Yeah.
or 2 months later or whatever, and it's like almost verbatim to the way he did it the last time.
And that's your comedy idol, one of your comedy.
He's up there,
idols.
yeah. He's probably
and like you told
top
me this
3
one time
probably.
because I took a picture with Dave Chappelle and he's one of my idols and I got a lot of shit for it. And you said one of the things is that you wish you would have gotten a picture with
Oh yeah, dude.
George Carlin that night.
If I could have,
You got shit for taking a picture with Chappelle?
Oh yeah,
someone's probably like, dude, why
certain people.
Why you sucking his dick, dude? Probably
Right,
people's
right.
door guys saying that shit.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, dude,
That
I wish.
secretly wish they would have done it too.
Yeah, because the truth is I do not want to miss the opportunity to take the picture because I met one of my idols, somebody who I really care about. Like
Yeah.
this guy, when I was in the Army, I was listening to all his stuff. It got through hard times, so that's big to a person like me. So it pissed me off in a way people said that, but he made it clear to me that do it, bro, because you don't know when you miss that opportunity.
Yeah, people care too much about what people think. I think.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
It's like if I think back all the times, like if I would have the shit that I've done, like I don't regret doing shit like that. Like you see somebody famous and all your dumbass friends like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think back now, 20 years later, and remember like, man, Mark, I can't believe Mark got so mad when I asked Michael Jordan for his autograph. I'm like, dude, I touched Michael Jordan once. You know,
now, see,
20 years later.
I don't ask for the autograph because I feel like autographs invasive.
I'm just saying it. Yeah, it is.
If anything, pictures now are like
it's so quick.
There's more of a need for them too, because now like you can post that on your Instagram or on your Twitter and whatever, and it actually gains some personal traction. You know, your friends and fans will be like, "Oh, dude, you know so and so. You're hanging out with so and so."
Totally.
It's more of like a.
But then I can also see the other side of it too, is that you're taking these pictures and then people like since I'm from Tampa, they see these pictures and they think the wrong things. They think, oh, he's making it. He's with Dave Chappelle.
But dude, that's what's great.
What doesn't matter what they.
But
that's,
see,
that's,
you don't
you're
get the luxury
projecting.
of that. You don't
Okay.
get the luxury of that. You
What
don't
do you
get the luxury of that because you're from here.
Yeah.
And we all talk about this kind of shit, like especially like in your first like 10 years.
Yeah.
You have a couple of things like that, or like you're like, hey man, I'm at the comedy store, and they're like, look at the and it's like, Dice is on the line, and they think you're
Right.
like on the road with Dice or something.
Yeah.
Right.
You go back home and it's Pussy City, buddy.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
think you're somebody that you're not. That's a
Yeah.
luxury of being out here, and people think that it's. People don't get how hard it is out
fucking
here to
tough.
Right.
try to do shit. People are like, wow, man, You went to the Playboy Mansion?
Yeah, you're famous now.
You got
Yeah.
lucky enough to get invited by a friend who was just happened to be invited himself.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah,
It's-
I went to Playboy Mansion 8 years ago, but I
It's
don't
like-
tell this story like that. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, Playboy Mansion.
In their heads,
Yeah,
like you're hanging out with Hugh Hefner and like all these hot, but in real life, someone rented out
it's
the
a
Playboy
shitty
Mansion.
party. It's a
Yeah.
shitty party at a really awesome
There wasn't
place.
a single playmate there.
It's like
No.
the
you know who
Poly-
was there? Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell.
of course, yeah.
And the Backstreet Boys. Those are the only famous people I
Yeah.
saw.
the night you guys sent me on the Trojan Horse mission at the Comedy Store to go up to Pauly Shore's house.
Oh,
It's
that's
like-
not Polly's house.
Oh yeah.
That's
No,
next door to it.
Yeah.
Oh, next door to Pauly's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since I'm the nobody comic, I get to go do all.
That's
the,
what we
like-
did. We're like, send Oligny up. He'll fucking he'll tell us if it's good or bad.
And it was it was bad. There was no liquor. It was just a bunch of people hanging out and looking at us.
I feel like I wouldn't want to be a musician. First of all, I can't play any instruments.
Yeah,
Even if
I'm all thumbs.
Why wouldn't you want to be one? You mean like a successful rich musician would be? You'd rather be a famous actor, famous comedian, famous musician.
Which one?
Which
At this...
in what order would you want?
Okay.
You know, you're the Louis C.K.
At
you're
this
Brad
point right
Pitt,
now,
or you're
back when I was
whoever.
a kid.
Or you can have the financially stable, not famous, not anybody.
Well, that's not enough.
Just-
I wouldn't take that. that's okay. That's the
so
last
suicide.
one.
So kill myself.
So kill yourself,
Option
yeah.
4 is kill myself.
You mean rich? You mean rich, but I have to work for pussy? Okay, I'll put that one last.
Yeah.
I'll take rich and any other option where it
Yeah.
just rains vagina.
I would have to say that's a hard one, dude.
It is, right?
Yeah, because what?
Because they all come with their perks, and they all come with their
And which one? Yeah, do you actually want to do it?
or athlete. Throw athlete in there too.
I'm not in it.
I wouldn't do.
But I'm just
athlete.
saying you could, you
They're
know-
short. The career's too short. The money doesn't last.
Yeah, you only got to work for 8 years.
Yeah, but the money doesn't last. You watch all these exposés where all these guys are broke
Yeah.
now because they have like 35 wives and 200 kids.
Yeah, that wouldn't change for me.
I probably would go comic, musician, actor in that order.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's so tough.
It is tough.
I would go comedian, musician, actor because the actor I can't act. I couldn't act in a Bruce Campbell film.
I don't know what mine would be, man.
Really?
It's so. I mean, obviously because we're all comics. I feel like that's probably more our calling. So it'd be obvious. It'd be
See,
very rewarding
yeah.
for me to have like a career. To be like, I feel like I would have the most longevity there, but I'd probably go same. God,
Yeah.
but the musician one would be so cool.
'Cause I like
I may
acting.
go actor first.
Really?
Second. I mean second.
To what?
Maybe comedy.
Acting, then music?
Yeah,
Wow.
maybe. Just because of like the rigorous part of the road,
Yeah.
having to deal with members of a band,
Living on that tiny
the
tour
variables that are out of my
I
control.
thought we were talking about like this is an ideal situation.
Yeah, ideal
like, dude.
situation. I'm just saying, comedy and acting would be solely mine and my thing, and I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
deal with band members and other
Yeah.
crazy
Well,
things
the band
happening.
thing, you could be a singer songwriter. You could be a solo act. Pete Yorn, that kind of deal.
Prince.
Yeah. Dude, that would be Prince would be so badass, dude. We saw him at the same time. We didn't know we were at the same concert on
yeah.
Stevie
It was
Wonder's birthday.
amazing.
That was Stevie Wonder's birthday,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one, right? Yeah.
It was amazing.
And Stevie Wonder, did he play a song there that night?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he goes, "Hey guys, it's Stevie Wonder's birthday. Please welcome Stevie Wonder." I'm
And
like,
he just comes out of the ground
Yeah.
playing the piano.
That'd
Yeah.
be so awesome.
that
So
was a
awesome.
great show. Dude, Prince is like the greatest live act ever.
I
I've
just
seen him twice, and both times I'm like jaw drop, like
Yeah,
jaw
I went
drop. Sorry.
3 times to that one.
Yeah,
And then I saw him when he was at Kimmel. Don got me into that thing.
Yeah.
I was actually on stage.
it's just not even fair how charismatic and talented he is. Because
Yeah.
it's like he can do anything.
He could do anything.
Like I saw him at Coachella a few years ago, and he comes out, whatever, 5-10 minutes late, and then the band starts playing, and he's walking, pacing around the stage with his guitar, hasn't said anything, hasn't played a fucking note, he's just walking around, and then he goes, he's like, I don't care what anyone else anywhere is doing. This is the greatest place in the world to be right now. And then everyone just goes crazy, and then he starts playing guitar.
I saw this thing-
But for 5 minutes, you're just watching this little
Yeah.
dude in purple walking around the stage. Like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do?
That's
What's
really
he gonna
him.
say? And then he says that.
You know what
Like-
everybody thinks when they see Prince at that, when he's kind of walking around, is they go, that's really the real Prince.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's that big. And I saw this documentary about Hitler. And a lot of people haven't made good Hitler-Prince correlations, but I'm about to do one.
Yeah.
That, like, when he used to, he was such a charismatic public speaker, and he was such a polarizing figure, that when he would come out to these, like, 150,000 people seat stadiums, like half the population of Germany would come see him give these speeches.
Yeah.
That he would just stand there and not say shit for 2 minutes and just look at everybody.
Yeah.
And let everybody gather in like, holy shit, that's really the real Hitler.
Yeah.
You know, and it made such an impact on the power of his speech. And that dude, and Prince does that. He just comes out and is like, I'll let you gather it in for a minute.
Yeah.
It's really me. You know what I mean? And you're like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw him at the Staples Center, or at the Forum show that he did, I had that same kind of like, I'm like, I think I might be gay, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think I want to fuck Prince. Exactly. Yeah. You can't help it.
So that's good. That's a good lead into this question I have for you guys. It really is. What was the worst, like, cheesiest song that you guys ever really like? Like, I'm gonna go. I'll tell you some of mine and give you an idea.
Long list.
But like Bryan Adams, "Everything I Do." When I was a kid, I loved that.
That's a great song.
I know. I was jamming that as a kid, but I look back on it and think, wow. And Meatloaf's "I'd Do Anything for Love."
Great
Also
song. Great song.
But those are
no
two
shame
songs.
in either of those.
There's kind of a little shame in them.
That's the thing, though. I've learned over the years with those guilty pleasure songs. It's like they're catchy. And they're popular for a reason. There's a formula behind it.
Yeah.
You know, to appeal to like a broad.
A lot of
market
people's
people.
guilty pleasures are they're relatable.
Are most people's favorite songs.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
relatable.
If
like
it's just like that's, you know, if you have a very specific taste in music, you know, you'll take a song like anything by like ABBA or like the Backstreet Boys or, you know, bands that are hugely popular.
Right.
To you, those are guilty pleasures.
I know my Popcorn Love by New Edition.
I don't even know. I'd have to hear that.
They're probably
one.
like 12 years old.
Popcorn Love.
Yep.
See,
If I hear that fucking start playing, if I'm somewhere it reminds me of 6th grade. And if I ever hear it, I'm like, fuck, I forgot about this song. Let me turn that up.
Dude, I'll get like old Britney Spears songs stuck in my head just because they have those. They're just catchy, and I heard them on MTV and shit growing up so much.
They're always playing in malls.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very
It's like that, oh,
They'll
Mickey,
pop into
you're
my
so
head,
fine,
and I'm
that
just
kind of
like,
shit.
I'll be doing that. I'll be bobbing my head back and forth. I'm like, and I don't like it, but it's like catchy, and I get why.
It's very subliminal.
Yeah. Now for me, here's what an embarrassing song is. It's not like a guilty pleasure. It's more of like, how the fuck could I have liked that band? The second Creed album.
Oh, wow.
I know, every time I say it too, people are like, oh, yeah.
I just like doing his impersonation. I think he's great.
Yeah.
But
I
with
was like,
arms wide open.
yeah. I was like 18.
Another band like that for me is who sings this song? Do 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 do.
Oh yeah, that's
Third Eye Blind.
Yeah,
Third Eye Blind.
That album in itself.
They are, I think, a legitimately good band.
I saw them live
They
once.
make catchy
They
fucking
were
rock music.
so bad live.
Oh, really?
And that was like the other.
sucks.
That's always my example of the reverse of the litmus test.
Right.
Because I now, at this point in time, I'd already seen the other two bands we talked. Shin's first album was already out,
Weezer, yeah.
and then and Weezer, and then these guys had like a second album or something, and I didn't really know it, but I liked their first one, and I went and saw them somewhere small, like the Fonda or some kind of like somebody hooked it up, and I went and saw them, and I'm like, these guys are either going to be just like the Shins and Weezer, and they're going to sound like really tight and exactly like the CD, or they're going to be bad. And like halfway through the first song, I was kind of like, this is going to be bad.
Yeah.
You know, like they just, maybe I just caught them on a night where they were hammered, or they just didn't give a fuck, or because a lot of bands like come to LA like this is like their.
That guy's like a big drinker, drug guy too.
Yeah. So I might have seen him on a night where he was just like letting it go.
But they got one of the great like drinking songs too. Jumper is like one of those great. Like,
Yeah, like Suicide.
How does that one go?
Wish you would step back from that ledge.
Oh
my
yeah.
But
Yeah,
they
man,
had,
they had a
like,
lot of
Cut Ties.
They had
catchy,
a lot of
licky
hits.
songs. Sure did.
They weren't one of those like this cheesy one-hit wonder bands.
Yeah.
Like, they
No,
knew
I
how to
mean,
write songs and like.
They just didn't know how to perform them live.
But if you're if you're like a music snob or music nerd or a hipster, kind of like that's one of the kind of the bands. If you're like, oh, I like this band, people be like, okay, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You don't really know music. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying I would say that to somebody. I'm just saying that.
Oh, we would.
This isn't a video
definitely
podcast,
would.
is it? But that's one where I'm like relatively hypocritical because I'm like, I did actually fucking.
Well, I mean, if you have somebody telling you what kind of music they like and they just tell you pure shit, you're obviously gonna go.
Yeah, if the majority is garbage, then you're like, you don't know what you're talking
Yeah, you
about.
have no taste.
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree. Totally
Like,
agree.
I have a couple blemishes on my record.
Oh,
and
me
one
too,
of them is
definitely.
Creed. You know that. But when
Yeah.
I think back to when that came out, it was like that rap rock thing was really huge at the time.
Right.
All that like Limp Bizkit, whatever.
Sure.
Rock was in a really bad place, and then that
As
yeah.
was rap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then that came out, and they had that Higher, that one song, and then there was another one, Arms Wide Open.
Arms Wide Open and
they were
Higher,
playing
yeah.
everywhere, and it was just fucking like, I was just like, this is good, yeah, this is like good fucking rock and roll. And then like a few years later, I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, I get why that was so fucking.
There's something
stupid.
dangerous about a new band with a lot of heat
Yeah.
that has 3 good songs
Yeah.
on their
So, like-
first album.
Yeah,
So,
if
like
you're
Macklemore.
vulnerable, you can get caught up in it, and I
Yeah.
did.
So do you think this
sure.
Macklemore and you
I
think they're
haven't
like
heard
that? The Thrift Shop Boys.
Oh, that
I'm gonna pop some tags. I got $20 in my pocket.
I haven't even heard
that's. I mean,
It's so catchy.
it's
And
infectious.
And they use Nate
that.
Dogg.
Macklemore, what is it?
You've heard this song. The beat, all about it is so fucking catchy.
Yeah.
That I can do it fucking
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Spotify. Well, as soon as I play a few seconds of it, you'd be like, oh yeah, I've heard that 1,000 times.
I mean, maybe, because I still haven't heard Harlem Shake, or was that other one, that Gangnam Style?
Yeah, the Gangnam Style.
I haven't either.
I
And-
just decided I didn't ever want to hear them.
I'm right there with you on
Yeah.
both of those. I mean, I know that one because of the.
Here you go. Here, I think I have it on my phone. Okay.
Don't you?
I think I've heard this.
Easily.
Yeah, it's on.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
on
really?
everything.
Oh God.
Sounds
dude.
annoying.
Yeah,
But it's one of those
You'll have it in your head
You'll
for days.
if you hear the song once.
Yeah.
It's almost like the movie The Ring or something like Candyman. Like if you say his name,
Yeah.
then he just stalks you forever.
Right.
If you let yourself hear that song once, you hear 2 seconds of it anywhere. Somebody drives by you with it,
Yeah.
and you're walking down the streets, and you're wrecked for fucking.
Same
you're-
with same with
hours.
Fun. Fun's great at doing that. Carry
Fun.
on,
Fucking
carry
great.
on. That
Yeah.
song drives me nuts. If I hear
I
it
can't
once,
stand it.
all night.
I can't stand it.
What's your take on them, by the way?
I
That's a
think,
band
I like
that everyone tries to push on you.
I like them a
yeah,
lot.
they're just
Dude,
like, no,
let me
man,
right when they came out.
he's the next Freddie Mercury. I'm like, get the
Yeah,
fuck
don't say
outta
that,
here
bro.
with that
Freddie
shit.
Mercury is probably the greatest.
That's a
one of the
great way
greatest
to
musicians
end a
ever.
conversrsation about music with me.
That's a great way to
away.
end a friendship.
You
Yeah.
think about this with Freddie Mercury. He's probably the greatest musician to ever live. This guy did rock and roll as a gay guy and was
Right.
wide open with it. He wasn't hiding. It was
Right.
wide open. He had guys who were really homophobic rocking out to him and loved
Yeah.
him. I mean, he was amazing. Probably one of the
Yeah,
greatest
he was great.
entertainers.
But anytime anyone has like some crazy falsetto or something like that, people are just like, "He's the next," and you're like, "Fucking relax."
Pump the
They had
brakes.
one album, 3
Pump
songs.
the
You're not
brakes.
Queen.
Yeah. And they're not producing their own shit.
Yeah.
They don't have the library. I'm excited for that movie.
What movie?
The fucking Queen movie.
Oh
with
yeah, with
fucking-
what?
oh yeah,
Sacha
dude,
Baron
that's
Cohen.
gonna be great.
Let him in.
He's a good actor, even though he does those Borat things, which probably make him look not as good as an actor.
So here's my fun story. So like they've had a few songs, whatever, and I was like, yeah, they're okay. I haven't even heard the album. Didn't want to after that one song, just was like drilled into my head. And so they're playing a free show at the House of Blues one night, right? And I'm at the Comedy Store, and they're like, yeah, here's a bunch of tickets. One of the employees. over
Tripoli
there.
went.
Yeah. So I went over there. A bunch of comics. A bunch of us went over there. And we get there, and they're like 3/4 of the way through the show.
Oh,
and
you
stuff.
went? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just free. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'll fucking walk
Gotcha.
over there, hang out before I go do a spot.
Yep.
And bunch of us are sitting there watching, and like a few of the girls that are there are just like, oh my god, fun, and they're dancing and singing. And I'm just like, yeah, it's just it's all right so far. And then they play like a slow song, right?
Sure.
And I've never heard before, or whatever. So they're playing it, and then like the audience, is kind of doing what they do at a concert. They're cheering and talking and doing whatever. Then this pussy ass fucking singer who's wearing like capri shorts or whatever and like suspenders, is just trying to look like a fucking farm boy hipster or whatever.
Yeah.
He was going for that.
He's
night.
too well done. He's
He
too
was-
put together.
yeah, so-
which screams public.
But
like
yeah,
a-
someone so put together and so fucking cool looking,
but not put
should-
together by himself.
should not say the following. He should not stop a song and then go, hey, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you guys talking, but we're almost done here, so if we could just finish the song, you guys can get back to your conversation. And I'm like, I'm sorry, are you a rock star?
Or a shitty comic.
Did you just whine to the fucking audience?
Wow.
So at that point, I just like tuned out, and they played one more song, and I was just like, I can't even be in here for this anymore.
And you have music to drown
he
them out.
whined to the crowd. I'm like, just play louder.
He should have been doing like the old like comedy fucking 101 like hey, I don't come to your place of work and flip hamburgers. So
we gotta get moving.
They're fun is a bunch of fucking pussies is what they are.
yeah, man, you gotta learn to rock. When you come out and you look like you're put together by a style, like you have a personal stylist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, one album
You're gonna
in.
be the fucking guy that's gonna do shit like that too.
Yeah. You're one album into your career.
You're a prima donna.
And, yeah. You got a stylist, and you're complaining. It's like
If you're a rock star, you should look like you just threw up in a van and you
Yeah.
still came out to fucking rip shit up.
yeah.
To me,
It's
a lot- well, it's a lot different
Had they been
these days,
around
too.
a while, they'd gone through all that shit. Yeah, they wouldn't be complaining about some people talking during their fucking ballad.
yeah, they're talented, but they just have too much of a boy band vibe to me.
Yeah, fun is not.
Fun is not fun.
Is not
Yeah,
fun.
fun is not.
So we're gonna end this segment off. I want to get your guys' opinions on some music. Maybe you can tell the listeners like some artists that you want them to listen to. Like,
Fun. Listen
Fun.
to
Go to Fun. Go find Fun.
Fun.com. Download
Carry on.
everything. Pay for it.
Absolutely.
But any of your
and shipping, even though you're downloading it, you got to pay for shipping.
Throw in some shipping money. Yeah.
Shipping and handling. I'm just downloading it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
still, it's another
Where do I
$4.95.
send this shipping money?
I wanted to get some of your thoughts on like maybe some of your music that you guys listen to, maybe obscure bands, not like not your run of the mill band. Somebody you can find. Like I'm thinking like Nothington is a great punk band that a lot of people don't know about. I Empire. I don't know, Mr. Bella. Have you guys heard any of these guys?
Yeah.
These are all great bands out there. What about you guys? Some names that people can look up on Spotify or whatnot.
Shit. You know what a cool newer band is? They're from Long Beach. They're called Rival Sons.
Oh yeah,
Rival Sons.
Yeah.
I like that name.
They are just straight up American rock and roll.
yeah.
It's a really
Guitar
badass
driven
name too.
Rock. Yeah,
Yeah.
great name. The guy, the story I've heard secondhand. They was a singer-songwriter playing the coffee shop circuit or whatever down in Long Beach, and this band was looking for a singer, and they found him, and they're like, "This guy's got an amazing voice." They started talking to him. He's like, "Look, man, I don't do the rock thing. I'm not a rock guy. I'm a singer-songwriter." They got together, like, let's just jam and get together, and then they fit so well, his voice, their music, and when you hear it, you can hear a lot of that because it's not just some shitty guy screaming over guitar and drums. The guy has a real voice. He can
And
sing.
it's like
he's
real
got
like
range.
thick guitar, like Black Keys kind of guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. It's like kind of like early Black Keys, but with more body. It's not. It's not stripped
It's
down.
not just stripped down
And
guitar and drums.
I've grown to like. I didn't like Black Keys.
Yeah,
At first,
I'm
but I've grown
on
to
the
like 'em.
I'm on the other end. I don't like them as much as before.
I'm the same way.
I'm not saying I like them a lot. I'm saying I'm growing to like them.
Yeah.
No, they're good. You should like them.
I liked them right out of the gate for the first 11 albums they put out in 2 years.
Their last
and
12
then-
albums, though.
I'm like, Jesus. They're like, you got the new Black. I'm like, every 4 days they come out with a new album. Like, let me get used to them. You know what I mean?
That's a good question though. Is music overproduced now to where it's not you're not getting the quality you used to because you can just pop it on iTunes instead of the artists used to have to wait that 6 months and they knew they had to put a good product out because that CD needed to.
What do you
sell.
think is the perfect amount of time for a band that you like to come out with a new album?
I don't know. I'd want to say like a year and a half.
That's
or something
about
like
mine.
that because there's some bands that put out an album like every year, but then I've gotten used to waiting because my favorite band is Tool and they put out an album once every 35 years.
Yeah.
Oh, if you want to
So
hear
you
somebody,
That's how Radiohead is, too.
you want to hear somebody who sounds a lot like Tool, like Maynard from Tool is 10 Years. The band 10 Years. The lead singer live sounds just like Maynard.
Really?
And it's amazing. Yeah, really good. Check out 10 Years. But so yeah, that's pretty much our. We're gonna be having to move on because we got a lot to get to still here. I know you two are some of the best dressed
What
guys in
about
LA.
T-Bone never gave a band?
Oh,
Well, I mean,
check
we've
out.
already mentioned a couple of my favorites.
yeah,
Like
we had Trail of Dead.
Trail of Dead's one of my annual knows for the Trail of Dead. Just phenomenal. They've got a lot of. That's a band that has a lot of. Dude, they have like 8 CDs, 9 CDs, and people are like, "Oh wow, are they new?" Yeah, since the '90s.
Right.
Like late '90s, they got together.
Yeah, right when I started listening to them, I had 8 CDs to listen to. I was like, great.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
music.
That's what's cool about shit like that. Where you're like, if you're like, oh, if you like this, listen to the other 7 that they have.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's cool. I mean, I would probably say it for like, I would recommend them for people that
That dig alternative rock.
I'm sure a lot of people don't know who they are.
Yeah,
That's the kind of band where you could play 7 songs for somebody and they would think it was 7 different bands.
that So Divided CD is really good, really good. Mm-hmm. I put that on my Spotify right away, and it just kept listening to it.
Yeah, they're a great band.
Spotify's great, isn't it?
It is.
Do you hate it or you don't like it?
I don't have the full version, so I don't use it that much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't either.
I
use
can't
it
like
at home.
stream a whole album. If I had the full version, I'd probably use it all the time.
I just use it while
I just get the albums. I find them online. I got the new Yeah Yeah Yeahs already.
How's that?
It's all right.
Weren't we? That's funny. We were at that rooftop thing and we were like, they need a new CD.
I know, yeah.
And then they just came out with one. It's like we made that happen, Nick.
Yeah, we did. We thought about it hard enough, and bands released a CD.
Let's
Okay,
put
now
that out in the
Modest Mouse. We got to
universe.
think about Modest Mouse.
Oh yeah, dude. They need a Modest Mouse needs a new
disc.
CD.
All right. Now we're off.
I know.
And then it's gonna be fun. Fun's gonna come out with a new CD. That's what's gonna happen.
I know 2 of them by the time Modest Mouse.
They already have a new song out, which usually means they have a new CD coming out.
Oh, you're right.
Fun does.
And
get used to it.
Outkast is actually going to be releasing another album, is what I heard. So their last album, which is what they say every album. So
Really?
They do say that every album.
yeah, so that's exciting if they are. I know you two guys are 2 of the best dressed guys in LA.
I don't know, but let's slow down.
Wow, yeah.
LA.
Sometimes Thibault's the least dressed guy at the Comedy Store, which is the truth.
That's yeah. Sometimes I don't wear much.
You can't go that broad. We're not. Yeah.
No, okay, maybe not the best dressed in LA because this place is like. But you guys are really well dressed, and I have no clue with fashion whatsoever.
But saying like we're the best dressed guys at the Comedy Store, saying like we're the best dressed guys at the Comedy Store is like saying we're the fattest guys in Ethiopia.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the competition.
Well, that's
level.
why I said LA because I didn't want.
Hey man, your socks match your shirt. What a crazy I mean, like, are you crazy, man? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like no, I just put a little thought into it.
Right.
I think for me, I think somebody was asking me that. About like they're like, man, you always seem like you put thought in what you wore.
Yeah.
You know, a girl said this to me the other day, and I was like, well, I think it's one because I was raised by lesbians.
Yeah.
And my grandmother, my sisters, I was always in a house full of chicks.
Yeah.
And so I think I kind of get dressed like women do. Like I'll put something on and look at myself and I'm like, I don't feel like this
Yeah,
today.
I do that too.
And I'll change clothes until I like see what matches how I feel.
Yeah.
Have you guys both always been like that? Have you always been in
No.
fashion?
Always.
No.
I have.
Okay, so
I have not.
all right,
I had to wear whatever was given to me, hand-me-downs, all that kind of stuff. So a part of it came from never having all the shit people.
What
wore
I'm
in
gathering
school.
out of this
I
podcast
never
is Nick
owned
grew up a rough childhood.
No, it was not. It was not. We
I
just
know,
didn't have it was a middle class neighborhood, but like a lot of the kids in school had fucking new Nikes every
And
year.
you got
like,
hand-me-downs, right?
Yeah, some, and then we shopped at Kmart.
Well, that's
things
my
like
family
that.
too.
Like, it wasn't. Yeah,
I had 2 older brothers, so I didn't
never
get anything
owned
new.
a pair of Air Jordans until I was like 26.
I had British Knights, never got Jordans.
I British nice.
Yeah.
BKs. Everyone called us the black kid.
Everyone had
shoes.
fucking Air Jordans. I could never. My parents laughed at me when I asked, like, I want Air Jordans for Christmas. Okay, yeah, that sounds. What are those?
I always have.
How much are they? They're like $100. They laughed in my face.
Yeah, it is a comical thing.
And
And do you think that led to you being
get your
such a?
Payless shoes and you'd be fucking happy with them.
Do you think that led to you being such like a clothes nerd?
When I was able to, yeah, because it made me so much more aware of what the cool things were, and I'm like, I would just look at it harder and longer. I'm like, that jacket is so cool. That shirt, those shoes.
I just always had like a team of stylists. No, I really did. I had like kind of like hipster lesbian stoners
Yeah,
women that always shopped for me from age 9.
that's great.
So they were always like, "Oh, dude, look how cool!" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would always just, and when you're young, you have no choice what to wear.
Yeah.
They just naturally dressed me kind of well because 4 women were shopping for me. It wasn't just like a guy like, "Yeah, jeans, grab that T-shirt, we're out of here."
I feel like now it's become that much more important. Like now I want to be ahead of what is going on. I will spend hours in thrift stores just finding if there's a shirt or something I want, now I have the resources and the means to find it. I can drive to places and look for it.
We always text each other like, "Dude, you got to come to this place because I got some mad fucking cool ass
Urban
pants."
Outfitters, 80% off this.
We always do. We always text each other
and you
shit.
go just to find one, because Urban Outfitters sucks, but sometimes you find one thing, and then you'll wear it, and someone will go, dude, where'd you get that?
Yeah.
Urban Outfitters. Really? I wouldn't have thought. How much was it? $4.
Yeah.
What the fuck? There was a sale. I didn't know
Sure
about
as
it.
shit.
I know you didn't.
That's the
Fuck
game.
you.
That's the game
That's
to
the
play
game,
right
yeah.
there. You're totally
It's
right.
fun. Yeah.
And that's crazy because I've never been in this world. Cause obviously you guys see it every day. You see what I dress like. I'm not.
And other people like, dude, remember when Matt Egger, who's another comic, to people who aren't listening, hangs out at the Comedy Store, he used to come dressed like a fucking hood rat.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden he's like, man, I want to dress like you and Nick. Where do you guys buy all your shit?
Right.
Where do you guys get all your... And now I'm kind of like, I got to quit telling this kid shit because he dresses exactly like me.
Yeah, it's funny.
We already kind of look alike in a little ways.
Yeah.
I tell him he's my stunt double. He came up to me and he goes, dude, what did he say? I'm trying to think how he said it. When I get famous, when I get rich and famous, I'm going to hire you as my stylist. And I go, those are two things that'll never happen.
That's funny. That is such a shitty thing to say to somebody.
No shit.
It really is.
It really
It just
was.
implies like, hey, when I'm famous and you're still not.
Oh, I know. Believe
I'll
me,
throw
it was
you
the
some
backhanded
scraps.
compliment.
it was
you
like
could
the
ever
one.
have.
It was like the one you did with Esther. What was the one you did with Esther? That was the classic one.
Oh, she was like, "Can I talk to you?" And then we go out to like the sunset, right over the thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we're standing like right there, and she's like, I'm worried about my sets, and I just want to be funny, and I'm just bombing left and right." She's like, "You're funny all the time, like on stage and off stage." Like, I go, Esther, listen to me. I've been doing this a long time. Do you know how many times I've bombed in 17 years? 2, and one of them wasn't my fault.
That's great.
It's like when someone at the same level says, "You're gonna open for me one day."
Oh, yeah. And you're like, no, maybe I'll open your casket for you one day.
After I kill you.
Yeah, that's about it.
So-
You really took notes. You're the most. Of all the podcasts I've done.
Yeah.
I've done like 9 podcasts so far in my life now. No, I'm kidding. A week, I do like 9 podcasts.
Well, I want to be more organized. I want to get
No,
used
I'm
to
just.
it.
No, that's
I'm
great that you
complimenting
have
you. I'm
notes.
complimenting
Yeah,
you
it's
because
great.
usually it's like people that are like.
I'll tell you the worst podcasts
So
are the ones.
anyway.
Yeah.
When
You
it's-
sit down and you're like, so what's up?
Yeah,
You're
it's
like, how much left? How much time is left? 59 minutes?
Well,
and
I-
all you got is so what's up?
Yeah,
I
no.
listened to the other podcast, and I realized I was real choppy, and I still am. I still hear it. But I want to get more organized, and I want to actually have a format for the show. And with you two guys, you actually kind of gave me an idea, which is I can go find comics that have a lot of like. Like you have Andrew Themeles and Tony Hinchcliffe, 2 huge Star Wars nerds.
Mhm.
You know, you can get 2 comics together,
Yeah.
and you can have them talk about what they love, and all I do is just sit there and be a filter, and I just ask
Yeah.
them questions that I feel
We've
are
had
necessary.
something to talk about for the last hour. There's never been
Yeah.
a, so what else?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there hasn't been a, so what are you up to lately? What's new in your, like,
A lot
your
of it is
career
like getting
talk or-
people that you know have a good chemistry together, are good friends, and just
Yeah.
having like a general conversation with each other.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the problem. Like you get these super podcasts, like kind of like even the Secret Show that we do at the Comedy Store on Monday nights, 8 p.m. live on iTunes. No, I'm kidding. But with that one, you know, we'll get like, oh, it's Tom Green and it's and Steve-O, and you get all these big time people
Yeah.
on one podcast, which is great, but they might not really know each other. You know, so you could have these lagging conversations if you know
Yeah. You don't know if you can take shots at
if
someone.
Doug Benson and Ian Edwards don't really know each other that well, versus like we could do one with a bunch of people might not know as well. You know, we'll have Tony Hinchcliffe and Brody and Don Barris, and it's really hilarious
because they all three
because
are
they all
comfortable.
know
yeah.
how to fuck with each other,
Yeah.
and it's better listening than just like having super
Yeah.
celebrities.
Yeah. So where do you get your clothes, Eric?
Well, you would think a dumpster or somewhere like no. I go out and I'll look around and I'll just say, oh, that's cool. That's a cool shirt. Or
Like,
Do you
where
have like a thing there where you like if you're shopping for clothes, you're like, hey man, I got to get some new jeans and a couple shirts or something like that.
Yeah, I do.
You go
I-
shopping, you see shit, and you go, that looks like me. What attracts you to something?
the fact that I need it. Like I literally hate shopping. I cannot stand going. So what I'll do is like let's say I'll run out. I'll have right now I have 10 pairs. I have 10 shirts that I like. 10 good solid shirts.
Like,
So that
shirt,
gives
like
me-
what you're wearing now, like
Yeah,
t-shirts.
just a regular shirt.
Like with
And then-
some random graphics. that
Yeah,
don't
random
really-
graphics. No clear thing of what I'm doing. I've got a lot of jerseys, and jeans, and I just and I'll always have like 5 pairs of jeans, 6 pairs. You don't need to like my thing is you don't need to wash jeans all the time. You can wear jeans 2 times, 3 times, then wash.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I like-
really good jeans, you're not really ever supposed to wash.
So that's how I do it. I keep enough just to wear and wash. Like I don't really care about my.
You shouldn't wear jerseys. With your look, if you wore like a jersey, you would look like you sold crystal meth.
I do, yeah. I when I wear my jerseys,
like a basketball jersey, especially.
I get a lot of comments. Somebody said I could be a star on Breaking Bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you got like, let's say you got development deal money. Let's say all of a sudden, like, bam, you got not a crazy amount, but a decent amount.
$250,000.
Not even that. Like a small, like you sold
$100,000.
50 grand.
Okay.
I'm dressing way better, that's for sure.
You got 50 grand, let's say.
I would pay for
How
somebody to dress me.
quickly are you shopping for clothes? Like you got 50 grand is in your bank account today. You woke up today and you have $50,000. No, I'm sure you're
What time did I wake up?
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Same time you woke up today, 9:57.
I woke up at like 9.
Okay.
So I would have canceled this podcast.
Of course.
And then gone clothing shopping.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that really would be like, of course I'd like, man, let me fucking get like a nice car situation or something. Not like buy it. I'm not gonna blow all my money on anything like that. But that would be probably the first thing I would do is like,
you want to be honest, is like with me too. Is like I'm not into fashion, but if I got 50 grand, the first thing I would do is go out and pay somebody to dress me. Like literally pay somebody to.
I would pay the store. I'm like, here you go.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking about like I wouldn't even go nuts. I would just go to that fucking Beverly Centers Macy's.
Yeah.
And
or
drop
Bloomingdale's.
Drop $1,000.
Yeah, you could
right out the gate.
Yeah, you could have clothes for the next 2 years.
Yeah,
I'm just so clueless when it comes to shopping for what fashion is.
But I mean, you always say like, I wish I dressed better.
I
but
do.
How do you want to dress? Like, how do you want to dress better?
I guess dress better in
Good
people's
question.
eyes. I personally don't think I dress that bad, but that's just because in my eyes I'm comfortable. You know what I mean? Like I'm comfortable with what I dress in.
Sure.
So,
and that's ultimately all that matters.
But in other people's eyes, I look like shit. So I need to figure out how to dress better. That way I can, and I don't know what that is because I'm not into fashion.
Right.
I can tell you a lot about other things, but when it comes to dressing,
I mean, sometimes it's just like how baggy or fitted your jeans.
That's a big problem.
Or like
I have.
what is on your t-shirt or what kind of shoes are a big one.
Shoes are a big one.
Like if you have a nice pair of boots, that can change everything else that you have on.
Yeah. Socks are big with chicks. Like if you have fashion.
Oh, and you guys love your socks. Holy shit!
What do you got today?
I got good ones, dude. I found this company.
I just got blue striped ones.
They're called. I think it's
blue and gray stripes.
I forget what.
That's actually pretty cool
stuff on an audio.
I know, but this brand, I think they're called Triple X or I forget what they're called. I'll find out for you.
Okay, yeah.
But
Those
they
are
make,
cool.
but the patterns kind of match, but they don't match.
That's cool. I like
So
it.
Just so the listeners know, we have an in studio ankle off going on. Jayson Thibault definitely has nicer ankles. Just so you know.
I have the ankles of a crack addict.
Yeah,
that's because I smoke crack. No, I'm kidding.
Are there any go-tos in y'all's outfits? Like I
do you
know,
mean?
like I know one is your scarf. Like you like this, you have your scarf. It's like it makes
like
you feel
scarves.
better. It makes you feel better when you're in it.
I'm always, but I'm well, here's the thing with scarves for me, like where I started liking scarves out here, is because a lot of times at night, like you'll go out during the day and it's 75 degrees in LA, and everyone's like, "Oh, LA is so nice." But at night, it gets into like the 50s, sometimes upper 40s. So if you go out at like 3 o'clock, let's say, and go have like drinks with a friend or like a late lunch, and then you go out after that, you can be stuck being cold. Yeah. But it's not cold enough to wear like a coat. And that's where like I'll just have like a long sleeve shirt and a scarf, and it's like just warm enough for me because I'm, like I said, I'm fucking skinny. I'm always cold.
But do you feel better when you wear that? Do you feel like what's that power clothing that you go, oh, this makes me feel like I'm on top of the world?
A lot of times, for me, it's coats, jackets.
Okay.
Like a good coat or a good jacket.
a good
fashionable
nice
jacket.
leather jacket. Like
my favorite thing I have is the only leather jacket I'd ever owned. I got last year, and I wanted a leather jacket all my life. I want one. And then I finally found the right one at Levi's, and it's like a leather motorcycle jacket. Fucking feels great every time you put it on. Breaks in a little more.
Yeah, I love the leather.
Comfortable.
Jackets. Yeah, they're just too expensive. That's the
sport coats too. I've been doing a sport coat.
The thing though with leather, either leather boots or leather jackets, it's like they cost more, but it's the only one you'll ever need. You'll have it forever.
They'll last forever. Yeah.
Like boots will be like a couple $100 versus like a pair of Nikes or something that can be 50, 60, 70. But boots you'll have forever.
Yeah.
You'll have those boots for fucking ever.
That's my guilty. My army boots. I barely wear them. I'll wear them once a month maybe, but when I wear them, I love them. Like they just make me feel like I'm powerful. I don't know why.
So where do you get your clothes? Like when you go,
I go to
need a shirt.
a Ross.
Okay.
I like cheap clothing stores because
You can find good shit there, though.
yeah, you can, and you maybe got little flaws in it, but
Even shit like belts and different little weird things where you're like, oh, yeah, $4 or $5.
Yeah, cheap dress shirt.
I'm trying to basically at this moment, I'm trying to cut costs because I don't have it. The NFL Network, obviously. Thibault and I both work at the Red Zone channel, and that's how I make my money. Don't have a job right now, so I'm just paying my bills, and I'm basically surviving off the little I have. So clothing is it's on the back burner.
Yeah, that's why I was like, man, if you got a development deal money, that'd be boom.
But when I do get money, I'd probably go out with you and Thibault and be like, here's $1,000 I want to spend.
Dude, you do that. You come in any money like that, you let us know. We'll definitely
spend it for you.
Yeah,
dude, that'd be fun. Like if we did that, like to take somebody out and be like, dude, let's give you a straight guy makeover. Because usually it's gay guys giving someone a makeover.
Yeah.
And that show always ends with someone getting their dicks out. and I'm looking around this room, and I don't think anybody wants to go there.
Yeah.
But that would be fun to do that.
It would.
And then like go to the store and just like, look at that little guy getting pussy right now.
Right.
You're just killing it over there in the corner.
So on that subject, who would be better for advice, a guy or a female, a man or a man?
About what?
A female. For fashion tips. Like if you're a man and you're looking for a fashion tip, would you go to a female or a male?
That is a good move to a girl that you want to fuck or you're interested in.
That way you're
being
into
like, hey, do you want to fucking come close?
Yeah.
Because she's going to dress you in the way that she wants you to look to fuck you.
Here's the thing, though.
You know what I'm saying? She's like, wear this. You'll be cute in this. And you go, you got it.
Yeah. Oh, you have such good taste.
Yeah,
she's
no
like,
shit.
Oh, we should grab dinner and talk about
I know.
But I would say it's not necessarily about the gender. It's about whether they have good style. Some girls dress
whether
like
you
fucking
trust them.
shit. If a girl's wearing pants that say juicy on them
or
pink, I don't want to know what you like in what a guy wears because I'm not wearing an Affliction shirt or a fucking gold necklace.
And that's my ex-girlfriend that would buy me that shit.
Yeah, so it's the individual style. A lot of guys dress like shit. I would never ask certain guys what to wear or if they thought something was cool.
Right, totally.
You know?
Absolutely.
So it just depends on the guy or the girl.
But
for the most part, I would ask a girl because they
care about it more than guys do.
If you already have a style and you go, oh, what do you think about this? They'll tell you if something's too tight or too long or
I've dated
certain
girls.
colors look better. A guy's never gonna be like, that color looks really good with your eyes.
Only me and you,
dude. Yeah,
only you and I.
Only we would say that. Yeah,
only you and I
get
would
it.
say
We
shit
get
like
what
that.
it's really about.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good look.
It's about our deep love.
You're very,
for each other.
you're very comfortable.
100%. But I've dated girls where it's like, that's where I know that I'm like, okay, this girl gets me. Where it's like, we'll be out like buying shit or clothes, and I'll like, or she will be, and I'll like try something on. I'm like, hey, does this look like me?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh yeah, totally. Or no, it's too baggy on you. You know. And I'm like, okay. That's good when you're dating somebody that gets your style.
Oh, dude,
Because then when they buy shit for you, they can buy shit for you without you needing to be there.
Then they're dating you, so they're the ones that have to look at you. So.
Yeah, because I hate when a chick will get you something that's like, I could never wear that.
She's like, wear this. She's like, what the fuck would I ever wear that for?
Yeah,
Thank you.
Right.
So, how much time we got, Ari? What are we on right now?
We're at 107.
All right, we ran a little over, so we're going to end it on this. We're going to end it on our Netflix conversation. I'm going to do this every podcast at the end. Everyone in the world sits there on that instant queue, looking there for any kind of obscure movie. They don't know what to look for. They're sitting there, and I just want to know some of your guys' picks. Like recently, I just watched I can't even think. I Sell the Dead with Dominic Monaghan, which was all right. It was all right. I don't know what else I can say right now. I don't remember a lot of the stuff I've been watching on Netflix. I probably should write those down for future reference. But how about you, T?
You talking about series?
Series are good. Like
or do you mean like,
Lilyhammer's another good one.
I tell you what, I was just talking about last night. I was telling people because I'm surprised. A lot of people talk about the show, but a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I haven't really watched that yet. Sons of Anarchy.
I haven't watched it yet.
Dude,
either.
it's started.
I heard it's good.
It's so good, dude. It is so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's really like The Sopranos meets a biker gang in Northern California.
That's cool.
You know, I mean, they kill people just the way The Sopranos. Nobody's safe. They'll kill off a main character like that.
That's great.
And they also are really good at what The Sopranos were good at, which is making you wait 9 episodes to see somebody finally get dealt with.
Right.
And when they finally do kill that person, you know, that you just cannot stand. I remember being in my apartment watching somebody get killed and being like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like alone. Like
Andrea from The Walking Dead.
So much relief.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
I've done
great
that
show.
too.
It's a great show.
Yeah, this recently, Andrea from The Walking Dead died, and I went ballistic.
And also, as far as movies go, 2 movies I've watched on Netflix recently that I were like kind of throwback. Like I haven't watched these in forever. Donnie Darko, great,
Great.
I need to rewatch that.
and Better Off Dead.
I never saw that, I don't think.
Yeah, dude, great. John Cusack, great.
That's one with the stereo.
No, it's straight comedy. $2. I don't know if you've ever seen that,
Yeah, I've
man.
never
Watch
seen
Better Off Dead. Fuck, is it funny?
I remember seeing it a long time ago.
Really funny, dude.
Yeah.
Classic campy.
I love Cusack, man.
Dude,
He's great.
it's one of his classics.
Yeah.
It's so
One of my
fucking
favorite
funny.
movies ever is High Fidelity.
High Fidelity and
High
Grosse
Fidelity
Point
is
Blank was
fantastic.
another
It's
good
one of the best movies ever.
High Fidelity is fantastic.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
all about fucking heartbreak, love,
Oh,
music.
yeah.
It's the fucking greatest. And Cusack, he's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's also on
Yeah.
Netflix. Instant
Cusack is
Is
somebody
it?
I can always trust. If Cusack's in a movie, or if what's that dude? Who's the dude that plays the new Batman?
Christian
Christian
Bale.
Christian
Bale.
Bale.
He's amazing. Yeah.
Dude, you can just be
The
like,
Machinist is on that.
"Oh, Machinist is
I haven't
great."
seen
That's
that,
a
yeah.
great movie.
If
Really
Christian
creepy.
Bale's in a movie,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh,
It's gonna be good.
I'll watch it." I don't have to care what it's about. I'm sure it's good.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with Cusack for the most part.
Yeah.
You did you guys see the Woody Allen documentary on there?
No, there is. I
Oh,
didn't even know
dude,
there
it's
was one.
it's 2 series. It's amazing. It's really good. It's in detail. It shows it shows Larry David on there talking about Woody Allen, and you should check that out. There's 2 episodes. I think it's about 2 hours long.
Mine would be House of Cards.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
everybody
but
loves
Kevin,
that
That's
shit, huh?
Kevin
it's
Spacey,
fantastic.
one of
It's
the greatest
fantastic.
actors.
God, everybody really loves that.
And what's
telling you,
that
it's-
about?
It's HBO quality good.
Yeah.
You would never think it was just made for Netflix.
And that was
or
so
whatever.
smart that they did that because didn't they release every one of them at one time?
Yeah, all
Just
at
like
once.
Lilyhammer, they
Yeah.
started off with that.
Yeah. And I guess it was
rest.
based on a British series or something. But it's essentially not giving anything away. It's about a politician and his wife, and then how they kind of navigate their life through Washington. To be as
he
vague.
plays a senator, plays
a congressman.
So it's like along those
Yeah.
lines of a West Wing, or
I never saw The West Wing.
I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've never
West
seen
Wing's
it
supposed
either.
to be amazing. But
you
yeah,
know what would be
it's-
funny if you're like not to give anything away or spoiler alert, but it's about this congressman who dies at the end of season 1.
Yeah. But yeah, that would be mine.
Have you watched all of it? Is there only one season of it?
One season so far.
11 episodes, right? Is
12 or 13,
okay.
I think. But what's weird too is that they released them all at once, and I actually took my time with it versus a show that I've been waiting for, to come out
yeah,
little by little.
Game
or
of
something.
Thrones,
Yeah.
so to say. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
the
so
fact that they-
baffled by Game of Thrones right now.
The fact that they put it on all at once, I was like, oh, I'll just watch 1 or 2 a day. Like I didn't go crazy with it, but it's
Right.
it's a really really good.
And
show.
May 26th, we have Arrested Development coming.
Oh,
11
wow.
episodes, and it's going to be basically each character has their own episode, up to 8 episodes, I believe, and then the last 3 episodes are based around the whole family.
I think Bobby Lee's in 1 or 2 of them.
And so
right?
is Andrew Santino.
Yeah.
Oh, and Tina.
Yeah, and I'm going to try and have Andrew on the podcast before the release of that, so
Uh-huh.
we'll work on that. But another thing on Netflix, have you guys noticed, like when you're scrolling through, you see the family section? Have you
No.
looked through the movies? It's like Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy.
They got to fix that whole thing anyway.
No,
So
I-
it's so
Netflix,
weird.
if you're listening, let's fancy it up a little
It's
bit.
too
Update it faster.
yeah.
Get
Get
I don't
less
wanna scroll
zombie
through
stripper movies.
The box covers either. Shit takes
let
forever.
me navigate through the categories that I want. It just gives you certain ones, and then they'll disappear. And I can't. All of a sudden, horror isn't a genre I can search
Yeah.
right now. Like, let me look through it like I can on my computer.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
instead of horror, it's vicious, violent, suspenseful, crazy movies. Like they do this like long line of things that it could be, and like
Yeah.
it's a horror film. Can you just put that horror comedy classic? Hobo with a Shotgun. Have you guys seen
Seen
that?
it.
Amazingly great B movie.
Yeah.
Never saw it.
Yeah,
Hobo.
it's pretty funny.
What's his name that's in the movie? I can't.
Oh, I couldn't remember. Who's
Yeah,
in it.
Donald Sutherland or
Maybe.
yeah, it's somebody. It's a really
Kiefer's
good.
dad.
It's a really good movie. I don't know. It's not Donald. It's I can't even remember the actor's name, but who cares? It's just a B movie. Go watch it on Netflix.
It's a good one.
Anyways, that was our Nerd Rager podcast for the day. Thank you,
Dude, that
Jayson
was fun.
Thibault,
Thank
Nick
you guys.
Youssef.
That was fun,
Yeah, that
it
was a good time.
Appreciate it. Ari, thank you for the space.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you, Ari.
StandUpTalk.com. Thank you. You can, Jason, you want to say anything? You want to have these people follow you on Twitter?
When does this go up?
Today, tomorrow, sometime.
Okay, sure. Let's see. End of April, or no, May. I think May. I'll be in Columbus and Pittsburgh with I think Jeff Richards. May 10th and 11th, I will be at the Hard Rock in Vegas with Sam Tripoli, and you can follow me at the Teeb on Twitter, TheTeeb, and I do 14 podcasts a week. Suck it.
And Nick, you?
That's funny. I can be followed on Twitter as well at Nick Youssef, NickYoussef. And next weekend, La Jolla Comedy Store, April 19th and 20th with the one and only Freddie Lockhart.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
Cool.
that's
a
awesome.
That'd be a
Freddie.
fun one. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gonna be good.
all righty. Well, that's great. You can find us at Nerd Rager. That's NERD_RAGER on Twitter. And find me, Eric Oligny, ERICOLIGNY, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or anything else you want to. Have a great day, guys.
Suck it.